Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Exhibitor webinar ahead of Smart Manufacturing Week 2026. Thank you all for joining on today. We'll be going through a few different sections today, starting off with an update about how the show is going so far, and then we'll have some specific updates from the marketing and customer success teams. Then we're on to operations, and then finally we'll do a Q&A where we'll be answering your questions that you can send in throughout the broadcast. The Q&A box is open, so please send those in, and we'll go through them all in one go at the end of the broadcast. So just a quick reminder of the team. Some of you met us back in March at the Exhibitor Day at the NEC. So for those people who attended the day, there will be some similar content covered today. But if you have any new or specific questions that you want to ask us, then please stick around. So I'm Chris, I'm the marketing manager for the show, and we've also got Rebecca, who is our customer success executive, and we've got Danielle, who's the operations manager as well. Okay, so first of all, we just wanted to round up what's happening at the show in case you weren't familiar. So we've got 4 dedicated exhibitions as part of Smart Manufacturing Week, along with 1 high-level summit. And this all takes place within Hall 5 at the NEC on the 3rd and 4th of June. Our visitors also have access to other co-located shows at the NEC that take place during the same dates. So these are Subcon, TCT360, MedTech, and Interplas. So you'll notice at the show, visitors coming up to your stand, their badges will look slightly different because they've come in from those shows, which we'll cover a bit later on here. And we've also got several satellite events taking place throughout the week as well. So we've got the Manufacturer Directors Forums, and we've also got the Certified Reliability Leader Workshop from Reliability Web happening all in the same venue. Okay, so just a roundup of what we were expecting to see at the show. So we are 4 weeks to go now, so we're in the final stretch of the campaign. We're expecting 13,500 attendees through the door this year, and we're monitoring registrations every day, and we're really happy to say that they're flying in at the minute. And we've also got a record number of VIP delegates signed up this year, so those are our highest level buyers, people with active projects looking to procure new products and services, so that's a really positive sign. We will have 450 exhibitors joining us this year, and we're also putting on some really great show features for our audience. So some of these are brand new for 2026, and some of these are returning favourites from previous years. So these include ACU, who are presenting the Fight Fest segment at the show. So this is going to be a live demonstration with teams of robot hobbyists who'll be battling and participating in a tournament throughout the event. We've got the Best of British Showcase. We've got Innovation Alley, which is dedicated to our startups and innovating companies. We've got 7 themed solution theatres. So our conference takes place throughout the 2 days of the show. And we've got, I think it's around 150 speakers taking part this year. We've got our STEM program, which is dedicated to students to inspire them and to inform them as they begin their career in the industry. We've got our networking party with live music at the end of the first day from 4:30 p.m. We've got our visitor trails. So these will be curated trails handed out to the visitors, and it will basically direct them around the show based on key topics that they want to go and hear about. So it streamlines their visit to the show. And we're also introducing a Meet the Buyer program. So this is where the audience will express interests in specific suppliers that they want to come and see. And then our team are able to match them together and curate meetings for them to make sure that to maximize their experience. Okay, so the next section is the checklist. So there's a few points here that we would all like you to consider and make sure that you've ticked off. So The first thing is that if you've completed your exhibitor profile, so we'll go through what that looks like in a second, but you should have all received the login details to your exhibitor profile. And in there, you'll be able to fill out the details of your company and add in the products and services that you'll be displaying at the show. And then there's also some marketing materials in there for you to share. Have you invited guests using your unique links? So within the Exhibitor Hub, there is a section where each exhibitor has their own unique link to send out as part of your invitations. And this is a good way to warm up your leads ahead of the show. And then we're also able to track that on our side. And we'll go through why we do that in just a second. Registering your exhibitor badges. So this again is done in the Exhibitor Hub. So please log in and add your team members who will be attending the show to make sure that they've got the correct badges. Also in there are the marketing materials. So we've got a number of banners and email copy made up for you. So all of that is accessible. You just have to download them and then share those with your network. And then finally, have you told us what you're doing on your stand? So I know a lot of exhibitors tend to have some fun activities going on in their stand, whether that be a simulator or maybe you're having a celebrity join you or you're doing a competition. So all of those details, we would love to hear about that so that we can promote them and ultimately drive more traffic to your stand. So if you haven't done that yet, then the email address is on the screen there for you to send those across, which is team@smartmanufacturingweek.co.uk. We'll also be sending communications to you in the remaining weeks to make sure that anything that's been missed off there, we're able to include it in our promotions. So this is what it looks like, the Exhibitor Hub. I'm sure most of you, again, have seen what this looks like so far. A lot of the areas I just described are on here. So it's super simple to use. And you can also access the exhibitor manual from this hub as well. So that's where you'll be filling out all your forms and the more technical information ahead of your visit. Okay, so in terms of sharing your invites, we've got the hashtags there that we use. I'm sure you've seen them all over our social media already. And we are also running a competition for our exhibitors. So we're able to track the links that you guys send out in your invites and also through our social media referral tool, which is called Ingo. And then what we do is collect all of that information together. And we've got some prizes for the exhibitors who invite the most registrations to join the show. So yeah, this is a good way to maybe take your team out for a meal or drinks after the show. And yeah, just a nice added bonus for you. So we've had a lot of questions about the event app, which we are bringing back for this year. We're due to launch this very soon. And you can see a mock-up of how it looks there on the right-hand side. So how this will work is it will be available for download on all your devices. And it will enable you to network with the attendees. So you'll be able to see the full attendee list. You'll be able to send messages to them and you'll be able to book meetings with them before the show and on site at the show. So it doesn't necessarily have to be at your stand. There'll be lots of locations you can select to meet them. And then from the visitor point of view, they will essentially be building an agenda for their visit to the show. So they'll be able to see the meetings with you in there alongside the seminars that they're attending and other features. It's also going to bring in your profile and products directly from the website. So you won't have to add any of your details. Again, we've got all of those already, and it's going to pull all of that information into your app profile. And we've also got some advertising left available on the app. Obviously, it's available. It's going to be viewed by all the registrants and attendees that we have to the show. So it's a good way to get some extra exposure. Okay, so the lead scanning, this is also accessible through the Exhibitor Hub. So we have an app called Smart Scan, which is available for download from the store. And each of you will have a unique code to set up your smart scanner app. And then this is how on site you'll be able to use your phone as a scanner and get the data instantly from the delegates that you scan. You can also customize it. So if there's any specific information you need to get from the audience or anything like that, you can add questions and change them. And then that will be all linked back to your Exhibitor Hub. So each person in your team will have the scanner, and then that information gets collected centrally for you so that you can access it immediately. Okay, I'm just going to hand over quickly to Rebecca, who's got a couple of slides for us about the customer success.
Hi everyone. I'm often in touch from the team inbox or sometimes as well my personal email address. As Chris mentioned, we're only 4 weeks away from the show, so I will be in touch more frequently now. So if you haven't received any of my comms, or there's anyone else in your team that should be receiving them as well, please let me know and I can add them to the mailing list. When you signed up for Smart Manufacturing Week, you may well have also signed up for some sponsorship items that are included in your package. For example, these might be a co-sponsored email or a featured newsletter article. If you haven't already shared the content for these, or you're not sure what's needed, please let me know by emailing the team inbox and we can talk further about it. You also will have been assigned a partnership tier when you signed up, and you should have received an email from me initially when you signed up with the deliverables listed out. And again, any content, outstanding content, should be submitted as soon as possible so that we can look at including your content before the show in June. Next slide, please. Thank you. Some of you will have also signed up for a speaking slot. As Chris mentioned, our full agenda launched back in March, and I think we have most of your content, but we are still missing some. So if you are one of those, please do share it with us as well so we can get your details up on the website. We can always amend things if things change last minute. Further to Chris mentioning, we're also running our STEM programme for secondary school students, apprentices and university students on day 2 of the show from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. If you're interested in being involved in some way, please send an email to marketing@smartmanufacturingweek.co.uk and the team can advise further on what opportunities are available. I then just have one final quick reminder for our Platinum partners. Please do check whether you have heard from my colleague Molly in the editorial team. She will have been in touch with you to discuss booking your on-site interview, which is included in your partnership deliverables. If you haven't heard from her or confirmed a day or time with her, please do reach out to her. Her email address is listed there on the screen. Please do reach out to her to book your time in. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Danielle in the operations team.
Thanks, Rebecca. So hi everyone, I'm Danielle, I'm the operations manager. We also have Emily in the ops team, who many of you will have been in touch with via email, and she'll also be on site with us too. So please do get in touch with us before the event if we can be of any help. So for 2026, we have introduced a new dedicated exhibitor manual, which includes all the important information that you will need to plan your stand, and it has been designed to simplify the planning process and improve your experience for the show. So as Chris mentioned, you can access this through the Exhibitor Hub as one of the tiles on the main page. Once you're logged in, you will be able to navigate through to the different tabs. So on the screen here, you can see at the top the different tabs on the black column. And this includes everything, including the event timetable, our official supplier contacts, what's included in your stand package, the health and safety guidelines and regulations for the show, and also anything else you might need to find in the A to Z directory. There's also a section outlining the different tasks that you'll need to complete. So I'll go through these in a bit more detail in a second, but they're split into compulsory and optional tasks, which you can then use to track your progress And there's also a live link to the floor plan if you need this for reference. If you do require any assistance, the email addresses are just on the screen, so please do get in touch if we can be of any help. At the moment, the access to the manual is live for the lead account in your team, but if you do need to add any additional colleagues or any stand build contractors, you can do so in the top right hand corner where it says your account, and you can click through to manage your users and add anybody additional that you need. Just make sure you press save, and then it will show you a green banner to confirm that that email address has now been added. Next slide, thank you. So for the event timetable then, you can see on the screen here the different times for the build-up, the show days and the breakdown. So I'll just run through this quickly. So depending on your stand type, it depends on what access you have during the build-up. So space onlys can enter from 8 o'clock on Monday the 1st of June, and you'll have until 8 p.m. And then on Tuesday you've got 8 till 9 p.m. And then for Shell Scheme, exhibitors, and anybody who's got a pod on Innovation Alley, you can access from 12 o'clock on Tuesday. For anybody coming to the halls during the build-up and for the breakdown, there is mandatory PPE required, so you'll need to wear a high-vis vest and closed-toe shoes. If you do forget your high-vis vest, we'll be able to sell these to you in the orgs office on site, but these are required. So for anybody who is needing to unload anything during the build for your stand, you can book a delivery slot during the show days on voyage control. So these will give you access to the VE doors at the edges of the hall. The link is now live for voyage control, and the address is on the screen there. So just go through and book your slot that you need. And then you'll be able to unload during those times. For the show days then, so on Wednesday, the show will open at 9 o'clock for the VIP preview and at 9:30 for the rest of the show. So your stand will need to be ready by 9 o'clock. And then on Thursday, it's the same again, and the show will close at 4 p.m. Exhibitor access is from 8 o'clock on both of the show days, so you do have an hour if you need to change anything or amend anything on your stand. The breakdown then will commence when the show has closed, so this will be at 4:30, and you won't be able to break down your stand until all the visitors are out of the hall. Shell schemes can then access until 8 p.m, and then any space onlys can access until 10 p.m. to break down their stand. Again, high-vis and closed-toe shoes are required, but you won't need to book a slot during the breakdown for your voyage control. It is a queuing system and you don't need to book anything. So now to move on to the different tasks in the exhibit manual. So predominantly these are health and safety related forms that we require you to fill in for having a stand at the show. So depending on what stand type you have, there are different requirements, but space only stands, the main thing is for you to submit your space only plans, including your risk assessment, your CDM, etc. The deadline has now passed, so if you can send any remaining information as soon as you can, this is to Essential Events, and they will submit and approve your stand. For Shell Scheme stands, the main thing then is to do the risk assessment form and the stand activity form. These are all embedded in the manual, so there's no separate form, it's all in there. But if you do have any questions, do let us know. Shell Schemes will also need to complete their name board submission. So this is just the name that you want printed above your stand. Some people want it to include their limited or not to include the limited and that kind of thing in their company. So we let you choose exactly what you want printed, but you can see on the screen there, you still got a bit of time to do that, but do make sure you submit it before the deadline. The final one then on the screen that is compulsory is the contractor on-site induction. So this is for anybody who is entering the halls during the build-up. So if you're coming on site on the Tuesday before the show opens to get your stand ready, you'll just need to complete a quick Google form. This just makes sure that you're ready to come on site and have read the health and safety guidelines. And anyone who is coming will need to fill it in, and then you'll get an email confirmation. And then when you access the halls, you'll just show that, and the security will let you in. So there's also some optional deadlines and tasks that are included in the manual. These are mainly things that you might want to order additionally for your stand. So these will be things like internet, catering, rigging, AV, furniture, graphics, etc. So they've all got different deadlines. The main thing to be aware of is that if you don't meet these deadlines, there's usually a surcharge that suppliers will charge. So if you can get your orders in by these deadlines, then you'll be getting the best prices for what you want for your stand. I've also listed here the official suppliers that are related to each service. So yeah, do get in contact with them directly if there is anything additional you'd like to order. Regarding the internet, there is free Wi-Fi available in the venue, but we recommend this is for only browsing on your phone or doing emails. It's not really good enough for any kind of demos or anything like that. So we do recommend that you inquire with the NEC to get a dedicated Wi-Fi or hardwired internet for your stand. And then also just a note on the rigging. If you are planning on rigging anything above your stand, then you're required to purchase a right to rig fee via your 19 account manager before you do so. So we've already got a list of people who have got this included in their contract, but if there is anybody else who's still thinking about adding it in, just make sure that you've paid for that through your account manager. So just moving on to a bit of on-site information. So I've drawn a little diagram here on the screen of the different office locations. So as you enter the show in Hall 5, just on the left-hand side are where our offices are based. So in here, you'll be able to find the organiser's office, which is mainly what you might need for the build-up days. We've also got first aid and then a dedicated GES office. So GES are looking after things like the shell scheme, our carpet, electrics, and graphics if you've ordered through them. So if there are any queries, you can go direct to them on site. And then there's also an office in here for our lead scanners. So when you come on site for the show days, if you've got any queries or if it's not connecting or anything like that, if you head to 5.7, they'll be in there to help you. During the build-up, we'll also have some service desks. So our official suppliers will be at the front of the hall. So if you do have any queries relating to what you've ordered, or if you realise you've missed something and last minute you want to add an extra table or something like that, the suppliers will be able to help you with that. In terms of collecting your badges then, your exhibitor badges, so these will be available on the second day of build on the Tuesday. We say roughly from about 2 p.m. Once the printing is all set up. But you'll be able to collect these before the show day, so that on the show day you don't have to worry about getting these printed and you can go straight into the hall. Contractors, as I briefly mentioned before, they will fill out the Google form and then they'll be given their wristband to make sure that they can access freely during the build-up and the breakdown days. Just additionally then, so Chris mentioned that we've got the networking drinks on the Wednesday. So that's for all of our exhibitors. So we do invite you to join us from 4:30 till 6. And then this year we've also got a wellbeing zone, and we have a dedicated calm space available for any visitors and exhibitors that wish to use it during the show if you just need a bit of a reset and a recharge in a quiet space. So do please feel free to use it. So just a note about the parking at the NEC. So this year they have introduced a new AMPR system. We've had a bit of confusion from some people already, so I just thought I would try and explain this in the most simple way I can. So for every exhibitor, you are issued with 2 free parking codes to book your parking in for the show. We have already sent these out, but if you haven't received them or it's gone to a different contact and you need to know them because you're booking the car spaces, please do let us know and we can resend these to you. So what the codes allow you to do is to pre-book your parking online before you turn up for the show. The available dates you'll be able to book for are the show days only. The reason being is if you need to park during the build-up or the breakdown, your code will be valid for all of those. So you only need to book for the show days, but you can still access it for the build-up as well. So when you go through to the website and you put in your promo code, it also will ask you if you want overnight parking. So if you're planning to keep your car there over the entirety of the time, you're not going to move it each day, then you just need to select yes on that option. And then the only other bit to maybe point out here is that the promo codes can be shared across colleagues. So say, for example, someone's coming on day 1 and then somebody else is coming on day 2. Once your car leaves the venue on day 1, you can then log on to your online booking and change the registration for the person that's driving their car on day 2. You do need to pre-book your car parking online to use the promo code. If you don't do that, when you come on site, it will just charge you at the exit barrier. So don't forget to do that step. The parking is now available to book, so make sure you do that before you come on site. And I think I briefly mentioned this, but when you book in a voyage control for your build-up or your breakdown, so your contractors maybe, they don't need to separately book parking, so they don't need to use your codes. These are specifically for you guys coming for the show days. And then just the final bit here is about the stand packages. So hopefully you do know what you've booked, but just as a quick reminder, if you've booked a enhanced shell scheme, that will include the walling, the carpet, a name board, and then an electric socket and the spotlights. And then you'll also get 2 chairs and a table as part of the furniture package. If you have booked a space only, this is just the floor space. There's nothing included, so no carpet, no electrics. You'll need to order these directly with the suppliers. There is also a GS show ready option. So this is something that if you've booked as a space only, GS, who are our official supplier, they can also do a more enhanced stand, which is an improvement from a shell scheme, but it's not quite the full space only, where you've then got to go and contact different suppliers. So it's kind of a one-stop shop. And if you are interested in booking that, let us know, or let your account manager know, and we can put you in touch with the show ready team. They're still taking bookings for that. So if you've still not kind of decided what route you're going to go down for designing your stand, do let us know and we can help. And then the final stand type here is the Innovation Alley Pods. So you've got an exhibition ready setup, including the graphic, the power socket, and a display surface. You should have also received an email from me about what the graphic artwork requirements are and the deadlines for this, but again, flag with me if you haven't. I can send this out to you as well. So I think that covers everything from my side, so I'm just going to hand back to Chris.
Thank you very much, Danielle. Yeah, just before we get to the Q&A section of the broadcast, we just wanted to quickly mention about some remaining sponsorship opportunities that we have. So they are running out fast, but there are still some available. So you can see the ones that are included here. So we've got some positioning on our visitor trails that I mentioned earlier on. We have content creation on site via the manufacturer team. We've got some editorial. The manufacturer run editorial year round. So if you're interested in a specific campaign from them, you can get in touch. Support for the STEM program. There are a few speaking slots remaining. And we also have a sponsorship of the networking party and cafe. And then there are some workspaces and seating areas around the show as well as our wellness zone. So if you're interested in any of those opportunities, please contact your account manager and they'll be able to help you out. Okay, so we've come to the Q&A section of the webinar. So thank you for sending in all of your questions so far. We can see we've got loads of those being sent in already. If you think of one during this section, then you've still got time to submit it, and we'll answer them in due course. But we can get started on the ones that we've been sent in already. So the first one says, what kind of support do exhibitors get in the run-up to the show to help maximize visibility and to drive traffic to their stand? Yeah, so We mentioned the e-zone, so that's where most of your support is going to come from. So once you get logged in there, you'll be able to see the banners and marketing materials that we've created for you. You've got your unique links to include in your invites, so that you can start to generate leads and warm them up before the show. And also, we will be publishing what exhibitors are doing on your stand. So it's really important that if you've got something eye-catching or something that stands out, or something really interesting like a simulator or a moving robot or a celebrity, then yeah, please email it over to us, and we'll be able to promote that for you. And we've got loads of noise going out. This is a huge marketing campaign that we've got running at the minute. So you'll be able to see your brands going out on our social media posts and on our emails, and across our website and our show previews as well. So we're here to support you. The next one says, is there any entertainment booked for the show this year? And I think, Danielle, that one is best suited for you.
Yes, we do have entertainment. So Chris has already mentioned that there'll be live music from a band on the networking party on day one. We've also got music at the entrance on both days. So we'll have a little sneak preview. We've got a little saxophone and bongos duo on day one. I'll leave day two, so as a surprise. We've also got some music in the VIP lounge. So there'll be some students from the Birmingham Conservatoire who will be playing some classical piano for anyone who's in that area. We've also got a DJ on the networking cafe during the day. And then we've got various bits of roaming entertainment. We've got some disco LED people. I don't know what best to call them. And we've also got some, we've got a digital caricaturist. So they'll be roaming the show. They'll be able to do a caricature of you, and then later in the day you can come back to their stand and collect it from them. So yeah, very exciting things going on.
That all sounds great. Thank you very much. The next one says, will visitors be attending from the other co-located shows? Yes, they will. So we will have visitors entering SMW from Subcon, MedTech, TCT 360 and Interplas. So you'll notice them by their badges. They're going to look slightly different to our ones, but they will be able to be scanned in the same way using your smart scanner. The only difference is that the data from these badges will be sent over slightly later than the rest of them. So any of the Smart Manufacturing Week visitors that you scan, that data is instantly available to you through the Exhibitor Hub. But if any of the guests from the other show talk to you and you scan their badge, we still collect all of that information. We just have to verify it first, and then we send it over to you, typically a day or two after the show. Okay, so the next one says, how does the app messaging work? So yeah, I mentioned it a bit earlier on, but you will gain access to the app, which will be available for download from the app stores. And then once you log in, you'll be able to see the list of attendees to the show. And then what you do is essentially make a connection request with them. And then once they accept it, you're able to book meetings with them at various locations throughout the show. Again, it doesn't have to be at your stand. We've got loads of networking areas dotted around the show that you can book meetings with. And then each person will be able to see the meetings that have been accepted. And then from the visitor side, they'll be able to, they'll get reminders that they've got the meeting with you coming up. Okay, so the next one says, how can I find my login details to access the Exhibitor Hub? I think, Rebecca, that's one for you.
Yes, so you would have received, when you first signed up for Smart Manufacturing Week, you would have received an email from LiveBuzz with the link to your exhibitor portal. If you don't have that or you can't find it, then feel free to email me on the team at smartmanufacturingweek.co.uk email, and I can reshare it for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We've got one more for you, Rebecca. I think this one says, I'm stuck on the profile page. How do I get access to the portal to register exhibitor badges or access the manual?
So there are mandatory fields on that first page that you come to on the profile that need to be completed first before you can access the rest of the Exhibitor Hub. So the fields that you'll need to make sure are all complete are the target sectors and roles, exhibitor categories, your company bio and logo, your website URL needs to be filled in, and then finally a website email address, for example, an info at or a sales at, marketing at type email address, and then you'll be able to access.
Perfect, thank you for that. The next one says, do I need to book parking for build or breakdown? I think that's one for you, Danielle.
Yes, so I appreciate parking is a bit confusing. So if you're just coming for the build and the breakdown, and you're not coming for the show days, so an official contractor maybe for you, or someone who's only setting up the stand, then if they have booked a voyage control booking to do the unloading, then that pass allows you to park in the car park for free. It's validated. There's nothing else you need to do. If you're coming for just the show days, then yes, you'll need to book your parking in advance with the codes that we've given you. If you're coming for the show days and also for the build and the breakdown, as long as you've booked for the show days, that will validate the car parking. Basically, it's 72 hours before the show days and then 48 hours afterwards. So it will cover your build and your breakdown times. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So I think we've come to the end of the Q&A for today, but just as a reminder, if you've got any further questions, please keep sending them into the Q&A box. The team are going to stay in the chat room later on and we'll be able to reply to you there. Failing that, if you can send us an email at team@smartmanufacturingweek.co.uk with your questions, and then Rebecca and the team will be able to get back to you as soon as we can. Okay, thank you everybody for joining on today. We will be sending the recording of this session to you in due course, so keep an eye out for that. And as I said once more, if you have any questions, please send them through to us and we're happy to help you out. But otherwise, thank you for joining on today, taking time out of your busy schedules, and have a lovely rest of your day. And we look forward to seeing you at the show in 4 weeks' time. Thank you.